First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shai Bashem Bakahakwidash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashmi Shai Brakatham to the overall elect, whom this gospel is for, and it's your brother Laban. And I just want to give my brief little take on this Real ID Self program, which the deadline is by May the 7th, 2025, right? And thanks be to the brother, the elder brother of Dallas, Texas, Yashawamba, for bringing this information out. And so I saw it, man. So I was like, man, you know what? Let me speak on this and give my take on this as well. So yeah, I mean, this is all in connection with the mark of the beast system, because of course, this ain't it. Definitely not. But this is just one step towards that. People already have IDs to verify who they are already. But yet, people are being told if you want to travel among the country, then you have to receive what is called the real ID. And I'll come back to this. I just want to read, a few scriptures that I have on deck. And we're gonna get into all of this stuff, man. And I have the video that we're gonna play as well. So yeah, we'll get there. 1 John chapter 2, verse 20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. Absolutely. The scripture says that the Lord doeth nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. What? The revelation of prophecies. And the prophecy that we're looking forward to is the mandatory implanting, which is the mark of the beast. Now, we've been giving warning time and time out of this. And so now when this prophecy is fully in effect and is now made mandatory in a place and a time when everybody has to receive the implant, whether it be by Homeland Security, that's when everybody in Israel is going to have to wonder, because we've been saying this to our people, of course, our people that did know the truth in totality and those that are in the truth. We've been giving warning of this. So now, the camp that they like to call the bum camp is going to be considered right. And everyone's going to be perplexed, discombobulated. There's a whole list of words we can say, which is going to show the state of affairs of all of these camps, man. Because, they're just there to teach for hire. They're just hired servants, but they're not servants of the Most High. That's just the difference. And it's to be understood, because these camps have been compromised, and or all kinds of things have been to where they can't teach the whole truth. And the reason why they can't teach the truth of what the mark of the beast is simply because one of these days, they're going to be the main pushers of those. They're going to be the main pushers of the mark of the beast. They're going to be the ones to read Romans 13 and the likes to convince their congregation that you got to do what your government tells you to do. That's just me thinking, We'll have to wait and see. Ezekiel chapter 2 now, in verse 1, and the point is in verse 7. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me. And he set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious a rebellious nation, that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted, and I do send thee unto them. And thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord power. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. For they are a rebellious house, and yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them. So that's what I was saying. It's going to be well known that the guys of Great Millstone, beginning with the top men and the men on down, have been giving them warning. And then they're going to later regret it. But by then, it's going to be too late to be regretful. Because you should have accepted the words of truth when the going was good. So now, let's play this video.
Well, it feels like we've been telling you about it forever, but the rubber is about to meet the road when it comes to Real ID.
That's right. Exactly 1 week from today, you're going to need it to do things like fly across the country. But as Fox 5's Duarte Geraldino shows us, not everyone's ready, and some states are pushing back.
After years of warnings, Real ID is finally here. Starting May 7th, you'll need a Real ID, a passport, or another secure ID to board a domestic flight. The goal is safer IDs after 9/11, but nearly 20 years later, a lot of Americans still are not ready.
People wait till the last minute to do things, and I said, while they brought it out, so let me just go ahead and do this. I ain't got to worry about another 3-4 years down the road, and that's it.
Will Andrews lives in New Jersey and got his Real ID years ago, but many in his state have not. A CBS News analysis found states like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maine, and Washington all have less than 30% compliance. New Jersey ranks dead last, just 17%. Across much of the country, millions still don't have a Real ID. It's not just procrastination, there's real pushback. In Maine, leaders fought Real ID for years over privacy concerns. Some are still trying to opt out entirely. Elsewhere, people say it's confusing, expensive, and inconvenient.
If you go and try to get it at the DMV, read the documentation, because it's so specific what you need to bring with you.
To get a Real ID, you must bring documents proving identity, legal presence, state residency, social security number. That's in addition to your current driver's license. Boro Johnson is heading to Newark Airport. He's relieved he already has his Real ID.
About 6 years, 7 years.
Which state are you from? Because New York, I don't know, people don't have them.
Massachusetts.
Now the scramble is on.
And I want to comment on that as well. You see, this is the thing. So people already have verification to show who they really are, but you see, the government can say, look, your verifications that you have in your wallet isn't good enough. So therefore, you're going to have to jump on board and receive something else. So if they can tell the American people, in order for you to travel, you need a Real ID, although you do already have ID, but you just need to get this one over here. It's the same way they're going to push that mark. Because if you don't, then you'll just be a write-off off the books of society. You're not going to be able to partake in society or get anything from society, because you're not going to jump on board with this new way of identification. Hence is what Billy Boy Gates has been working on, for some time now, this digital ID system. All right. And it's been said that if you don't join that digital ID system when it's in the workings, when it's mandatory to, then guess what? You're going to be a write-off. You're going to be excluded from the world. And so what they want to do is they want to get as much nations as they can. Actually, 50 nations by 2028. Right now, you already have 24 countries that's on the 50 and 5 program already. All right, which this is something that's been brought out to, almost, 2 years ago. Okay, so they're setting this world up to go technological. And that's all to do with Bible prophecy. As it is written, he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, if you don't have the implantable device, then it's going to be equivalent to you not having your birth certificate. And speaking of your birth certificate, that's going to be on your chip too. Every single thing that involves identifying who you are is going to be on that chip. Your medical information, various forms of information, which is concerning you, is going to be based on that chip. So if you don't want to transition your data on that chip, then you're just going to be an excluded member from society. So if they can tell the American people, look, you got to get this real ID to be authorized for you to go travel the country domestically, as this reads, on the 7th of May, 2025, which is the deadline, U.S. travelers must be real ID compliant to board domestic flights and access certain federal facilities. Find out if your real ID ready with our interactive tools. So yeah, just like I said, man, this is just a step towards the real thing. All right. They're graduating you to the real thing, which is that mark. So yeah, I think I've said what I had to say on this over here. I just wanted to make that comment. Excuse me. I wanted to respond to the comment of what was said in this video, because the news reporter said that some feel relieved that they already have their real ID. Well, guess what? If the government tells you that your ID isn't real enough and you got to go get the actual real ID that they're telling you to get, supposedly, right? Then that's what you're going to have to do. And that's how they're going to spin this chip, man. It's kind of like what they did in 2020. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say it because I don't want this video to be taken down and then I have to deal with the strike on my channel. But during the time of 2020, people were told, due to a particular variant that was floating around killing people, and they did that just so that people can be in the sense of fear. And when people are in the sense of fear, you're in that fight or flight mode. And all you want to do is to get away from this uncertainty of fear. Okay. So if your government tells you in that kind of state of mind, you're not going to be resistant at all. All you're going to do is do what you're told. So what people did is they lined up to go get the what. And now these are the same individuals now that now are regretting that they've done so. But they were mentally persuaded to taking that dragon's juice, so to speak. And many have died, and many will that haven't died will die later on. All right, just to keep it real, man. So this is how Esau gets what he wants from people, is through psychological operations. And so with this real ID, like I said, this is just a step towards the real thing, the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast, you already know that's going to be mixed with a psyop. It's just like in the video, it says that a reasonable amount of people have been pushing back up against this real ID thing. And again, this is the reason why Esau brings about these psychological operations. Because when you tell people to do something, right now people are a bit more resistant of government than they've ever been in a long time. So the main thing that works now is, again, this tool of using psychological operations on people to really get the job done. So yeah, I've said what I had to say on this. I've said a bit, much. I needed to just say enough and be done with this. So with that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah Bashem Rakah HaKodash. And with that, I'm going to close on this one right here. And I say Shalom.